Good afternoon, guys. My name is Hippokittie. Today, on Throwback Thursday, we're going to be playing the first game that I ever bought with my own money. Today, it's going to be Shadow Warrior from the brand 3D Realms. Let's get into it. Shadow Warrior was a first-person oriented game that was meant to make fun of different kinds of samurai and martial arts movies, much in the same kind of vein as Duke Nukem. It was made by the same group, as well as the same people that made the game Blood. So you know what to expect with the crude humor. The main character's name being Long Wang, you kind of expect it. The game's graphics, at least in the earlier levels, isn't very good. Everything looked kind of plain and gibberishy. It didn't age well, but then again, this was a DOS game. So, at the time, this is something that was extremely revolutionary. They even go ahead in some places and combine 3D with the 2D. So, with like buttons and switches, when you move them, they move in a three-dimensional state instead of in a two-dimensional. So they stand out a bit as the game's aged. Now, the game itself has a large arsenal of weapons, from machine guns to shuriken to fists, sword. I think I said grenade launcher. If I didn't, grenade launcher. There is tactical nukes and rocket launchers. I'm just not good enough at the game to get far enough to actually use them. Sprinkled throughout the game are different secret little Easter egg areas. Most notable would be in one section of the game where there's actually Laura Croft from Tomb Raider. She's hanging from chains and Long Wang says something, I can't quite remember what he says, but you have the option to kill her right then and there. Another notable Easter egg is throughout the game there are actually bathing anime chicks. That the only thing covering up their, let's say, womanhood is bubbles. But again, I was not quite good enough at the game to get to them. The game's difficulty is settable. I tend to play on what would be considered medium, but if I wanted to, I could have gotten farther in easy. I just didn't want to. I'm sorry, viewers. I couldn't stoop that low. The game does have many different controlling aspects to it. There is the running around normal. There are sections where you control tanks, turrets, and this section here where you control a little bitty remote control car with a key on top of it that you need to actually go through the game. Now, if you get the game now, it's different than when I was younger, because there were two different variants of the game. There was the shareware version, which was the second section that you see here, with a very short amount of levels. And then there was the full version, which had a lot more levels to it. Now, the version I bought when I was a kid was the full version, and it comes with the shareware levels, and you do need to select between the two of them. If you get the game now, you get the same selection. I would recommend starting with the shareware levels because they are the first levels of the game, and the other ones take place afterwards. I'm going to pause my audio here for a second just so you can enjoy the music ambiance that goes with this game. It's got a killer soundtrack, and it's just pumping you the whole way through. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop talking again for a few moments here so you can see the different gameplay and see the different kills and weapons that you can use early in the game. And note that with each weapon that you use, that there are different kill and death animations for the characters. So it is quite different. game is relatively gory for the most part. It's just so beautiful. There's nothing that compares to it now. Back then, this was unheard of. The only other games to see like this would be Duke Nukem, or maybe Serious Sam, which came later, or Quake. So, pretty astounding. The game controls. They were very fitting for the time, but with modern PCs, you want to use your mouse and everything to play around, where originally, when I played it, you had to use nothing but the keyboard to do things. So using the mouse now, you'll notice that there's a bit of sluggish movement with the aiming. You can increase your DPI and things, but I tend to play these games as they are meant to be played, just so you understand where they're at. The game did see a resurgence later in life. I think it was 2013, where they re-released it underneath a new engine, the Unreal Engine. It is also labeled as Shadow Warrior. I bought the game on Steam, and it actually came with a copy of the original game. Both games are notable, but the newer version just doesn't hold the same appeal for me. It even keeps the name Wang, but they change the name of the enemies, they change the look of the enemies, they change the way that the game plays, and they change the character's look. For the original, he looked like an old Shaolin warrior. The new one, he looks just like a Yakuza Japanese punk. All I know is that I would definitely recommend this game very highly. In all, I would give this game a pretty high rating. 4 potatoes. It's got good graphics, good gameplay, good everything. At least for the time that it came out. I will recommend this game to anyone who wants to try it. It's very good. It's very good. Thank you very much for joining me. And remember, always follow your dreams. Peace, peace.